Welcome to the very first episode of Between the Scripts. I am your host, Jonathan Shuffield, and we are being honored with the presence of actor Reid Schmidt. Reid, how are you?
I'm doing fine. You're too kind. How are you?
I mean, I was a preacher's kid. I learned it well way back in the day. And for anybody who sees this will know already. But of course, we both work on the show Almost Not Quite, the little web series. So before we get into anything else I want to talk to you about tonight, I want to talk to you about what people want to hear, which is Almost Not Quite. We're in the middle of Together Apart, which is our little interim series until we can actually film the actual show. What's the experience been like so far for you?
So far, it's been fun so far. It's definitely a different take than what anyone thought this summer was going to be like. But
For sure.
after the first few episodes we did, I feel like we definitely fell into a groove. So things have gotten smoother, and it's been just as fun.
Yeah. There was a pause there that I'll talk to you about later. Just kidding. No, and you're right in the fact that we had cast it. We cast in January, and we did a first table read in February, I think, the beginning. Yeah, and then we were set to shoot in April. That was our first. And then this weird thing hit, and then we all panicked behind the scenes because we're like, what the? But we thought, oh, it's probably going to go away. But then locations started pulling out, and then we panicked more. And eventually I just thought, oh my God, we have to do something. And so I talked to all y'all actors and was like, hey, it looks like we're stuck for a little while. So why don't we do this little middle part? And luckily all y'all were into it. I'm saying y'all a lot. I'm sort of from the South, just so everybody knows.
Really?
Yeah, I know. You would never believe it.
Well, chef, it fooled me.
Well, tell us. So you play one of the central characters. His name is Mark Mastersen. What do you, so far, so you read the script, then of course knew nothing, because in this business you get cast and then you shoot it and you kind of learn along the way. So we've had this luxury of getting to know our characters more. What's that process been like? What do you think of Mark? Like, would you even be friends with him in real life? Like, just what are your impressions?
When I first read the script that I keep on me at all times.
I love this.
When I first read the entire script, Mark was definitely like, okay, he's the nerd. That's the archetype.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we did that first table read, I got a sense of the deeper levels to him, like not just nerd. And then as we've been doing these Together Apart, I feel like I've discovered even more about Mark, and that he's even more neurotic than I ever thought he was.
He is so neurotic.
Like, don't get me wrong, I knew that he was neurotic, but
we sent you on like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
In just this interim season, like what you were showing, I want everybody to know, is not one episode. That's the full season, because there's a lot to it. But what's fascinating is we've been kind of having fun exploring characters during this time, but we have sent you like in crazy spots. Did you ever, knowing the Mark you knew from the script, from the original series, did you ever think you'd be going down these weird roads we're sending you?
I didn't think I'd be going down the road I did, for sure. When I think of Mark in a lockdown pandemic, I imagine someone who does everything like by the book. He probably has like a clipboard and a checklist. Like, okay, I have toilet paper for 3 weeks. I have 6 weeks of water. But instead, Mark just loses all sense of reality.
Yeah. I feel like Mark is a guy, when I write him, he's a guy that has cornerstones, touchstones, I guess, in his life. And I just kept thinking, well, what happens when we take away the certainty? Because Mark is very much based on knowing what he's doing. He's based on numbers. And then you take that away, and then what do you get? And you get this guy that has no, I'm just going to use as many different metaphors as I can, that has no anchor to keep him in place. So he's kind of just going wherever the sea takes him. And so you get to play crazy. You get to play neurotic. I'm having a lot of fun writing some new stuff for your character that is taking him in a whole other direction. I think it's going to be interesting because we shot this before we're going to be shooting season 1. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of influence that has on season 2. Yeah. So is that exciting for you as an actor, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly,
Yeah.
just you saying season 2 is exciting enough. But
You're telling me. I know. Actually, on my side of things, saying season 2 is also anxiety inducing. Because you got to make that
is it
work.
like an actor good luck before a theatrical show?
True. And please teach people that because they don't seem to get it. One of the things, so when we had you read, there I think 5 actors at the end who read for Mark. And it came down between you and one other actor, I remember. I know, this is all the stuff actors don't get to know until the director is like locked in his house for months on end. And it was down between you and one other. But I have to say, and I encourage, of course, everybody to go watch what we've put out for this Together Apart, which is the interim series. You have a very natural way with Mark, which is the comment we get from people. You are very just in his skin. Is that because you share anything with Mark, or why do you think that is?
I definitely share a little bit of a lot with Mark. Not quite to the crazy levels as Together Apart has brought Mark, but I was definitely a nerd. I do enjoy things being structured. I'm not going to crumble like a napkin when structure's taken away, but I understand the viewpoint of having order, having a form.
Yeah.
I suppose that definitely helps.
I think it's helpful. Also, I think what all you actors end up asking me is, most of the core cast is based on a conglomeration of people that I know. That are real people in my life. So I'm fascinated. One of these days you're going to meet there's 2 people that make up Mark. Okay. So we'll have to have you meet them and get your impression. One of the things I enjoy about you is you're an enigma to me. And one of the things is you come with a work ethic that I don't think is always natural nowadays. And when I started discovering more about you, you have a love for old Hollywood. And
exactly.
I think that's part of it. I think you take on the work ethic from old Hollywood days and bring that with you, and that's just not normal. What is it about old Hollywood that you're so drawn to?
Honestly, I just think everything looked better back then.
True. Is that hindsight is 2020?
Yeah, a little bit. Sure, the studio system was full of abuse, and the less said about certain rights of different groups back then, the better. I just think everything looked better.
Yeah. The aesthetic was
yes.
They spent a lot of time crafting a world that didn't exist, but it looked really good.
Yes, which is why in any other time where there's not a global pandemic and I see the barber regularly, I have a perfect side-swept, parted, clean-cut hair.
I love it.
I have to throw that to the wind because of the COVID, so now I have the long 70s shag.
For real, people need to look at the some of the past episodes because your hair gets very big in those episodes. Yes. I love that about your hair. It works for crazy really well. Old Hollywood, I think, I have to ask, I also love it very much. Are you drawn at all to Ryan Murphy's Hollywood that's on Netflix right now?
I have not seen it.
I am actually pretty surprised. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I haven't really seen any Ryan Murphy shows, so I don't know the guy's work.
What?
So it's not
like
now. What?
What is happening right now?
You're interviewing.
You've never seen.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
True. But you seriously have never seen a Ryan Murphy show?
I don't think so. He did Feud, right?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen Feud. I've seen Feud, but that's because it was about Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. But
Exactly. And it was brilliantly beautiful and well done. And those two actresses, Susan Sarandon and, oh, help me out. I love her. Jessica Lange. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
What's her name?
Yeah. She's the best thing ever. But you're used to me doing that. I never remember names.
That's right.
And of course, the Ryan Murphy show I'm watching right now is The Politician, and Jessica Lange's in that and absolutely brilliant. And the great Bette Midler is in that. And so, I mean, I just write it down and look up some Ryan, because it's worth it. I promise. But
did he do American Horror Story?
He did, yeah. And you like horror, don't you?
Yeah, you'd think, but like by the time I thought about maybe watching it, I kind of heard a lot of people saying that.
Definitely start with season 1. It is absolutely brilliant, and I would go for about 4 seasons. I know it's a lot. What else are you gonna do? That's all I'm asking.
Good point. I mean, I could read a book or two.
I love it. Now, I have to say that I really do feel, I was mentioning your work ethic earlier. I feel like your love of old Hollywood has seeped into you as a human. And down to, I asked you before we did this, because you're our first guest, what your favorite drink was, because I wanted to have it. And you love a Shirley Temple, which of course is old Hollywood. And so I learned from you. You have a big glass of Shirley Temple.
I do. It's about this much grenadine, and then that much 7-Up.
That's hilarious. You know what I've learned today, because I've only had one once, is that, sorry 7-Up, but Diet 7-Up, gross. That's all I'm saying. But the Shirley Temple, it tastes great.
Grenadine.
Yes, exactly, and that's exactly what I did. So I love that. Now let's get back to when. I just want to know, like, blanket, when did you know acting? When did that just go, oh, that makes perfect sense?
Let's see. We go all the way back to 8th grade was the first time I went out for something. And it was at my school, there was the high school musical, but there was also the 8th grade musical where everyone in the 8th grade had to be a part of it, whether you liked it or not.
Oh.
For weeks. Fun. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have fun, damn it. And for weeks, my mom was always like, "Reedy, are you gonna go out for the musical?" No, Mom. Reedy, you should go out for the musical. I don't want to. You should really do it. No. But unbeknownst to her, I was secretly thinking, maybe. So it was Guys and Dolls. I'd never done a musical before.
Nice.
And my neighbor helped me rehearse for the audition. And I can still remember there was Daniel in our class. Everyone was sure that he was going to get it because he was like the star. He was outgoing. He was going to get the lead in the musical. And I show up like, hi, and surprised everyone by getting that part. So that was fun.
You got Sky Masterson?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That role has to just, once it bites you, you're done. Because it's great.
Yeah. So for years, Guys and Dolls has had a very special place in my heart. So that was followed by like the typical high school shows. And then in college is when I really started to enjoy it. Because even though I went for college for film production, my college, Emerson, also had, it was film major, so people were shooting things all the time. So I was, for fun, I would go audition for other student movies while I was there. And the more I did it, the more I thought, like, I'm glad that I have a major I'm working towards for a future career, but I also really like doing this. So it was like my fun little side hobby.
That's what made you move to California permanently.
Well, I mean, I did move to California to like work in the TV industry, but a few years into my time in LA, I thought, you know what? I always liked being in the other student movies. Why don't I try and go out and audition for fun things whenever I can?
Right. And and we all know, we talked about this the other day. We all know that the reality of the audition process and the working process is there's a lot more reality to it that I think those of us here would like. But you stick to it. You've been here how long now?
Coming up on 8 years.
Whoo, nice. I just passed 2. I just passed the 2-year mark, right? And so now, of course, you get this amazing show. I mean, it's got to be everything you've ever dreamed of. I want to know, as an actor, as you look at this, what's it like shooting this whole Together Apart when you know, because you have that whole season that we haven't shot yet in script form, you've read it, you know Mark. What's it like to have to kind of shoot a kind of side stories that we wouldn't normally see? These are everything in these people's lives that people wouldn't get to see, except that we had to film it.
It's fun. It feels almost like it's bonus material for the Blu-ray release.
That is a great idea. It's like bonus. You get all of this little web series we did. You're welcome. What is your process with getting in touch with Mark or any of the characters you end up playing?
Let's see. It's always a process of reading through the script a few times to get the basic core emotions. Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm sad, and here I'm angry, and then I'm really happy. And it's a matter of refinement.
Yeah.
Like,
and finding the truth in that, right?
Yeah, like I scratch the surface levels of the emotions, then I go back again and I think more about what's causing the emotions in any given scene, and then deeper and deeper until I lose all sense of reality and I become that character.
Actually, I think that's a very accurate. That is what it feels like to act with you. You just all in.
Well, I was joking, so I sort of, is that am I supposed to be insulted or complimented with that?
No, you should feel complimented, especially because I think as a fellow actor, it makes the scene more comfortable when you're with someone who actually is just blanketed in that person and who they're supposed to be. So I think it gives other actors permission. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, especially in this industry, we are supposed to play a bunch of best friends, and yet we don't know each other. So you almost have to have someone that gives the others permission that they can go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this pandemic, if there is any silver lining, it has allowed us as a group more of a bond that I think will be, and I think that's going to translate even better when we get, together in one room in 2034 and we can shoot it. Yes. I have faith. If we have to show up like the boy in the bubble, we're going to shoot this. We'll shoot it in person. It's going to get weird, so just get ready. What is it that do you have like that secret part of the back of your head that you'd love where you'd love to take Mark on this journey?
I'm not sure right now.
Yeah.
Only because I'm not a writer.
Yeah. See, my brain doesn't understand because I always think of all of the hats, and I'm like, oh yeah, because actors might not know that part. But I will tell you, as one of the writers, we accept your input.
Oh, thank you.
But don't get crazy. Just
okay.
Well, what I'm excited is Mark is a fun character, and so we have way too much fun putting him in situations to see, well, I wonder what, and I love people and how people react to each other, which is not fun for you actors because it means I really enjoy just creating a situation and then discovering how your characters would survive.
I like the sound of that because I would love to one day be the sort of Bruce Campbell-y person who the directors are like, what sort of terrible stuff can we make him do?
Exactly. Bruce always does it.
Yeah, like I've been down that route a few times with other projects. Like, long story short, in something else, I once had to eat a banana like a corn on the cob. And they were just, I could bite right into it. And when we were done shooting it, the writers and directors were just like, God, I can't believe we made you do that like 10 times.
That is the joy. actually on our end of things. Because typically we're stressed out most of the time behind the scenes. So we've got to put y'all through weird shit to make us still better. That's how that's
Yeah, so my attitude towards the weird shit is bring it on.
Exactly. I love it. And I know that you're a fan of horror. So we'll see what a Halloween episode might look like for us.
Oh, yes, please. I need something to fill the void in my heart over the fact that Halloween was more or less canceled this year.
I know. And doesn't that sound like just the plot of a movie that Halloween got canceled? That just doesn't seem real.
Yeah. It is the plot of like 2 of the Halloween movies, but
anything with Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm in.
She wasn't in those 2 that I'm talking about.
This interview
I'm
is
talking about
over.
4 and 5. Her character was killed off in between 2 and 4. You should come on.
I know, but she did another one, or they were working on another one.
Oh yeah. Halloween's got like 10 different timelines. You got
exactly.
Halloween, which goes to Halloween 2 and then H2O. You got Halloween that goes right to Halloween from 2 years ago. You got Halloween that goes to 2 to 4 to 5 to 6, and then the Rob Zombie ones exist. That's a very convoluted continuity.
I would do, if I were to write or direct a horror, it would be a horror comedy. It would have to be. So my character would die in the first scene, but the rest of the people would be very interesting. So keep that in mind.
You get your camera at the beginning, and then you're killed off, and you run behind the camera for the rest of it.
Exactly. It makes my job easier. Well, first of all, your work ethic, I cannot stop saying that enough about you. It's been so much fun, not only getting to know you, but getting to act with you. So I'm super excited for season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's what's coming. And getting paid. That would be good as well.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
Isn't that weird? I know. It'll happen. I'm on it. But thank you for being the very first guest on Between the Scripts.
I'm honored.
Is there anything that you think people wouldn't know about what it's like to shoot a web series, or what it's like to shoot our web series, about any of our actors that you think would be kind of fun to share with people? Don't you love to get put on the spot?
Very much so. Something that people may not know. For every 10 minutes of an episode of something you watch, there's like 24 hours of waiting around.
Oh, true.
That's a fun little secret. Most of shooting something is waiting around.
Yeah, that's what or my other favorite thing is our episodes at most are 6 minutes long, and there have been some times we've all shot for an hour and a half to get 6 minutes. So,
over multiple days.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's super fun. Well, my friend, Mr. Schmidt, I can't wait to see more and more and more of you as we move forward. And then soon, one day, when we're at the Golden Globes, accepting our award.
Not Emmys?
We have to start at the Golden Globes, because then it'll be right before our movie is released, and then we'll get Oscars. So, okay. I mean, that's where we'll have the Emmys already. Yeah, there's a plan.
Good.
So, okay, thank you for everyone who watched our very first episode of Between the Scripts for Almost Not Quite. Remember, you're seeing this on patreon.com, and you can continue to see this by just hitting that little pledge button. You get lots of free goodies just for supporting us. So, until next time, bye.
Bye.